We're going to do a Hello World program, and I'm going to show you how you can submit it using the course tools. So by the time we finish this lesson today, you should know how the whole system works about writing a program, turning it in. Now, people have asked, can I use different tools? You absolutely can use different tools, but I'm going to show you the ones that the course would basically use. So the first thing you need to do is to go to Putty, P-U-T-T-Y. Just hit that lower left button, the Windows button. Click on Putty. You should see a little icon with two computers and a lightning bolt and the word Putty. Just click Putty, open it up. You should, you probably will see something blank, but you should type in cs116.svsu.edu. And let me go to Notepad++, sorry, Notepad here. And I'll show this to be, we'll do a font, and we'll go to a big font. And so I'm going to put this here. What are you going to type? It's going to be csis.svsu.edu. That is the Saginaw Valley CSIS server. You can type that in here. If you already have it, you can log in. You log in using your own username and password, the same as you do on the regular system. So mine is GP Courser. That one gets me in there. And then you type in your password, but the cursor will not move when you type in your password. Don't worry, it's still getting your password. I'm going to make this screen a little bit bigger. If you want to make your Putty screen bigger, you can go to Change Settings, Appearance, Change, and I'll change this to be, say, 28, so you can see this a little bit easier. Yeah, have to do that. So now you can see what it looks like. I'm going to do CLEAR, clears the screen. So now we're in Putty. This is where we will be doing work for the first couple of lessons. Later we'll be using fancier environments, but for now we're going to use Linux and Pico. And the Putty is basically a terminal emulation package that allows you to log into the server. So if you type ls, that will list all of the directories you have available. You may have some directories different from the ones I have, it's fine, but I'd like you to create the directory cs116. The way you create it is you type mkdir cs116. And then you hit return. In my case, I've already created the directory, so it's already there. To navigate to the directory, we do cd, change directory. Well, that's assuming that your keyboard works. Let's pause this. All right, we're back alive again. I did this test before just to make sure this thing worked. But what I'll do is I'll remove these files. If you have files, you can remove them. It's not working. Are you guys able to type anything? Yeah. Oh wait, there it is. Okay. Okay, there's a little bit of lag, so I'll just maybe everything's fine. So I'm going to remove this file. If you type in a letter and then you hit the tab character, it'll complete the whole thing. So that saves time. I'm going to remove that file, and I'm going to remove the other file. Now if I do ls, there's nothing in there. That should be the same as what you guys have, right? You have nothing in there. So we're going to create, now in order to use the program submittal tool we use, we have to create a thing called an input file, and it can be named anything.data. So I'm going to create a file called input.data. The way that you can create a file in many different ways. One of them is you can say touch input.data. And now if I type ls, there's a file there in there called input.data. I typed ls and I hit return, so there it is. See that? Now if I want to see what's inside that file, I can type cat input.data. If you guys already had all this with Linux and Pico and 105, then I'm sorry about that, but anyway, so you can see that inside this input.data file there is nothing. If I want to add some stuff inside of this file, I can use this text editor called pico, P-I-C-O, input.data. And now I'm in a text editor and I can just type stuff in there. I'm going to type in zippyd. You can see at the bottom that you have Control O for write out. The word write out, I don't know why they use that, but it means save. So I'm going to hit Control O, and that just saved it. It says file name to write, input.data. Okay, it saved it now. And then Control X is exit. So I'm going to hit Control X, and now I'm back out to my main screen. If I do if I do ls, you'll see the same file is there. If I do cat input.data, you can see that now it has the contents zippyd. To submit a program for credit for the course, you have to use this other program that needs an input.data file. That's why we have this. So now we're going to create the famous Hello World program. Everybody starts out with Hello World, right? And we're going to create this file. We don't actually have to do the touch. We can just go straight in and type in pico. I was just showing you that you can use touch to create a file. So we can do pico hello world, and I want you to use capital H and capital W for hello and world .java. That opens up a screen and it has the file name at the very top, hello world.java. Now there's a lot of weird things to type, and they can, one little mistake will screw everything up. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy it from the internet, our good friend cut and paste. If you do Alt-Tab, you can task switch to other things, and just go to a browser, and in there type in hello world.java, and there will be millions of versions of hello world.java that you can copy from the internet. Server not found. Great. Just do hello world without the dots. Hello world in Java, and you should get up. So here's hello world from cs.princeton.edu. Congratulations, you guys all just became Princeton students. So we're just going to take this program right here, and we're going to copy it, and we're going to go into our PuTTY, and we're going to use the right click, the right button on the mouse, and bingo, it's going to pop it right in there for us. Now I'm going to do something that this is just a matter of plagiarism, right? I am using this program that I copied from somebody else. There's absolutely no problem with copying and pasting code. It's very frequently done. As a matter of fact, Steve Jobs very famously said, good programmers borrow, great programmers steal. But you guys cannot steal because passing programmers do not steal in this class. But you can copy and paste code as long as you give credit for where you got it from. So I'll say this code came from, and these little slashes here just mean comments. I'm going to go back here, and I'm just going to copy this address bar item here, and I'm just going to paste it in there with my right-click button. And so now I'm safe. I've not plagiarized anything. I'm not claiming this is my work. To be very honest with you, I can write Hello World without any help from Princeton University, but and millions of people wrote this. They probably stole it from somebody else too, right? But it's just a matter of policy. If you copy code, put it in there. So this is a working program. I'm going to explain what's in this program in a minute, but first I want to show you how the overall process works. So let's go ahead and save it by hitting Control O, and then Control X exits the program. And if we do ls, we will see there's hello world.java and input.data. Piece of cake. So now we want to use this program called submitj. Submitj is it's a program that tests your program against multiple data sets if you want it to. So all you literally just type in submitj. I'm not even sure if the S and the J have to be capitalized, but in Linux it's case sensitive, but I also hit submitj. And you hit enter, and what will happen is it'll say checking for source files, success. That means that your .java file exists in the subdirectory. It'll say checking for data files. success, that means there's some file or more than one file with a .data extension in there, which is what you want. It needs to have that. And then compiling success means the program does work. So I guess Princeton University knows how to code hello world. Hallelujah. So that now they're showing they're going to run the program with the data file input.data. Do you want to preview your assignment? Yeah, I want to preview it. That means I want to see what it looks like on the screen without printing it out. So I hit Y and hit return. Print date, right now. Source files. Here's hello world source file. And to go through these screens, you have to hit the space bar. And there it is. There's our code, even with the comments on it. Okay, very nice. Now we check to see our data files, and I'll hit space bar again. And input.data is zippy-d. Okay, that is working fine. Execution, that means the program actually printed hello world. So, okay, do you want to print your assignment? No. I would recommend not printing it unless you actually need the printout for something. But of course, you're welcome to it. Do they charge you for printing here? So, use that budget wisely, But you will, every week, you will, or almost every week, you will submit a program to me, print it out, and then it'll prove to me that it works with all the data sets, and then I'll check it off and give you a grade like that. That's how we'll use this tool to do that. So, so now you've seen how to use Linux and Pico, the text editor Pico, and now you've seen how to do the Hello World program. We haven't gotten into how that works yet, but you've at least seen how you can compile it and run it using submitj, which is a tool just for this course, cs116. It doesn't apply to the rest of the world. Now let's take a look at how we can use this program from the command line. Just out of curiosity, how many of you feel pretty comfortable with the Linux command line? Okay. Well, you probably never used the Linux command line unless you start hacking people. Which I do recommend doing it as a practice, just not actual people, but just to learn how to hack. But I guess I'll show you how to do this using an IDE, since most of you, it looks like you'll prefer to use that. But let me just show you that you can use a program called Java-C. If you do ls, you'll see that there's just these two files in here. But if I want to compile a Java program, I can use Java-C. Java-C means Java compile. And I type in hello world.java. You have to type in the letters properly. They have to be capitalized right. And now if I type ls, you'll notice there's a thing called hello world.class in there. One of the nifty things about Java is this little class file, this bytecode they call it, it's the output of the compiler, that can run on any computer. Any computer that has Java running on it. So it's not limited to Linux, Windows, Mac, anything. That's pretty cool, right? Most languages can't do that. So now if I type in Java hello world without the .java at the end, it's saying run that bytecode. Run the code that we just compiled. So it should say hello world, which it does. So that submitj program is basically tricking the computer, and it's creating that hello world.class file and then deleting it. But in reality, that class file has to exist for this to run. So let's recap about that now. So we went to csis.svsu.edu, and we used Linux. We actually used PuTTY, Linux, and Pico to create hello world, right? But we also learned that you can use Java-C to compile, and you can use Java to run it. So in other words, if you're having some kind of problems, you're using the command line, you can compile and run it that way. The overall point that I want to make is, number one, you have to create the Java code. Number two, you have to compile it. and number 3, you have to run it. When we used submitj, it compiled it and ran it for us. But when we used the command line, we had to do each of those steps individually. So let's take a look now at Netbeans, which is another way of doing these programs. If you go to your window and you type in Netbeans, you should have Netbeans on your computer. You might want to use Eclipse. I think that's on there too. But we'll do File, New Project, and we'll do Java Application. And I think that should do the trick. Java Application 1. Finish. Great. And now what we have is a whole environment. It gives us the file structure, which is a little bit easier than just seeing the command line in Linux. It gives us some other things, but basically it gives us this source code. Now, let's go to the source code and copy and paste it in the same place. Here it's got public static void main string args. This is the main code. Here, let me see if I can make this bigger. I'll do, how do I make this code bigger? There usually is settings to make this bigger. I forgot how to make this thing look bigger. Can you guys read this okay? Well, it won't be too complicated. I'm just going to paste the Hello World program and replace it over the top of this. So let's go to the website that had the Hello World program in it. And you can see it has public class Hello World, public static void. We're not going to worry about the class right now. We're just going to worry about this public static void main, this part right here. Just those 3 lines of code, or 4. Copy that, and then we'll paste it in here. When you click near a brace, it'll show you where the closing brace is. They always have to be closed. But now you can see that this program looks pretty similar to the other program. If I hit run here with the green arrow, it says Hello World here. So that's a little bit more of a graphical way of doing exactly the same thing that we just did using PuTTY and Linux and Pico. So now you've seen a couple of ways of doing the Hello World program. The next thing we want to do is test and see how, basically I want to show you how the data types work and how the data variable names and stuff work, and getting into the language a little bit.